I bring some chalk.
Chalk?
If you ever find yourself being chased by a witch, draw a circle around you. Keep you safe.
If I ever think I'm being chased by a witch, I will look for a psychiatrist, not a piece of chalk. Hokum?
Hey, everybody, welcome to a special episode of Citizen Frame. That's right, special episode. And I'm not talking about Trevor being special.
I'm very special. Everyone thinks I'm special.
Yeah, that's what you keep telling yourself there, Toby.
Who? What'd you call me?
Toby.
Toby? I don't get it.
We'll probably get in trouble. Well, we'll get in trouble for that opening. No, I don't give a fuck. It's Sunday morning.
Who's Toby?
You know, forget it. Forget the joke. It's just, if you have to explain it, I guess it was terrible.
Right.
But hopefully some of our listeners will get it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're back talking newest director, Damian Mc Carthy. Got really into Damian when I watched his first film, CAVEAT. Very creepy. And also his wonderful film that I give massive, massive stars to. And we talked about on this podcast, a little film called Oddity.
Yeah, it's very good.
Oddity is a perfect film. It near perfect. I'm not going to say perfect, but it's near perfect. It blends De Palma. It blends Hitchcock with Peter Straub's Ghost Story to Death Trap to it's just a cluster of different genres, and it's just wonderful storytelling. Doesn't overstay its welcome. Fun cast, scary moments, great ending that ends with a bellboy. And the reason I bring that up is because Hokum has a bellboy in it, technically, or bellhop, or whatever he is.
Bellboy.
And a rabbit. So these are things or it's a hare, actually. And these are two, so far, things that he seems to put into his films. Now I think that's just to make his films, Damian Mc Carthy world. He likes to pepper in stuff that they know that's his film. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. Hitchcock did it all the time with making a cameo in his films,
Yeah.
Every director has some kind of different take in what they want.
Well, tying things into their own sort of universe sort of thing.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino does it.
Yeah, Tarantino's famous for doing it. Spielberg in the 80s was famous for doing it. He kind of walked away from that when he didn't really work with Amblin Entertainment as much. You always knew when you were seeing a Spielberg film.
Kids on bikes, all that sort of thing.
Kids on bikes and shit like
Issues
that.
with fathers, yeah.
Yeah, boy, he films everything around Cork. This was filmed in Cork, just outside of it, I believe. This film is getting incredibly great reviews. The film we're about to talk about is Hokum. Now, don't have any real numbers yet, like box office wise. Probably going to do quite well. Stuff's very independent, so it's probably going to make its budget within the weekend. This is literally day of release. So this is going to be spoiler filled. I know all of our things are spoiler filled, but this is a brand new release and there's some twists and turns. So you're fucked if you didn't hear that part of the podcast, because we're going to be spoiling it.
It's also getting, for a horror film, very high ratings so far on IMDb, 7.4 when I last checked, which was just before this podcast, actually.
Yeah, it's done across the board. I haven't seen any really bad reviews. Saw one, but there's all the different sites that I go to, reviewers that I kind of like and respect, or websites. They all love it and giving it massive A levels. So,
listeners, you do not want to know the sites Kieran goes to. Trust me.
Yeah, dark web.
Oh dear. Well, there's an admission of guilt. Yeah. Oh. Creepy McCreeperson.
All right, Toby.
I don't know who Toby is. You may tell me.
I think it's so funny. I'll tell you after the podcast. Okay. So, yeah. So bear with us here. We're going to dive into it. I've got as many notes as I can. We saw the film fresh, and so I got a lot of notes here. We're going to go through it and dig a little deeper into the mystery of Hokum. Hokum, starring. It's different because Adam Scott's a comedic actor. I cannot see him in anything else but Step Brothers. He's fucking hilarious in that. He's known as a comedic actor. He's done some serious stuff recently. Oh, what's it called? That Apple TV show, Severance or
Yes, Severance,
Surgeons, or
something like that.
is that what it is?
I haven't seen it, but I know of it. Yes, I think that's what he's well known for. Is he in that Parks and Recreation?
He was in Parks and Recreation. He was more of the serious role in that, but he was the comedic. He was obviously with comedic timing. He was like the straight man in that comedic role, I guess you could say.
And also,
and yeah, there's.
Go ahead.
What's that?
No, I was going to say
you
one of his early roles was actually in Hellraiser Bloodlines, which was written by our mate Pete Atkins.
You know, it's funny. I read up on that. We always talk about how actors always start in horror and always go back because it's the go-to now. It's kind of funny.
Well, horror's never been as popular, you could argue, in terms of cinema.
There's a story with Adam Scott, and he said that he was in Hellraiser. Was it Bloodlines?
Bloodlines, the fourth one, yes, the one where they end up in space. Yeah,
and he dies in it, and then but he wanted another movie part, so he auditioned for 6, hoping they wouldn't recognize him.
Yeah,
oh, that was funny. Yeah, we went. I forgot to mention we went to see this. It was afternoon, 3:00. Fucking Devil Wears Prada 2 and Michael are dominating the box office, but they put Hokum in a pretty good sized theater. I'll tell you what, I've been to a lot of movies in the cinema, and in this particular cinema, it was quite packed.
It was
an afternoon show.
Usually, when we go to see a film in the cinema in Belfast to see a horror film, it's basically just me and Kieran and maybe some random odd couple up the back who are, I don't know, just looking to make out or something. But yeah, this was very well packed. You know, it was about half packed, which for a horror film in this particular cinema was very impressive.
Yeah, so I hope it does well over here in the UK, but it actually it shows signs that it will.
Yeah, word of mouth is a big thing.
Yeah, so I hope it does, because his next film is going to be just balls to the wall scares. He says it's going to be pure haunted house, like the classics, The Haunting, and so forth.
Well, this is haunted house as well.
This is haunted. Nah, you know what I thought about? It's not.
It isn't.
Really isn't.
It isn't.
Yeah,
on the surface.
I would say it's not. I'm going to tell people that now. Well, you know what? Let's dive into it because we're rambling here. Well, I'm rambling. Okay, yeah. So we got Adam Scott, Peter Coonan as Mal, David Wilmot as one of the Scene Stealers. He plays Jerry. He's the eccentric. Austin Emilio. He plays the Conquistador. Conquistador. Is that how you said? Conquistador.
Conquistador. Yes.
Florence Ordesh. Absolutely stunning, beautiful woman. I said beautifully. That makes sense. She plays Fiona. Michael Patrick as Fergie, and William O'Connell, another scene stealer. He plays Albie, the bellhop / elevator guy.
Yeah.
The film is pretty much based around a writer. It has Stephen King written all over it. If you guys have seen The Shining, or if you've seen 1408, this is, and even Misery.
Yes.
Based on a writer. And he is an abrasive novelist, and he has for years struggled with the guilt of, again, spoiler filled here, people, of killing his mother as a child when playing with the father's gun.
Yeah.
Actually, shoots the mom in the head. He's got a massive guilt. Father, because of this, became kind of pretty much a dismissive alcoholic, never talked to his son because of what his son did. So he clearly blames his son, treated him poorly for that. And so this causes him massive guilt. And
I would say
writing.
Yeah. I would say he did shoot her by accident as a child.
I said that.
Did you?
Why would I?
That's okay.
Why would I? Okay, let's just move on. Really?
Just confirming
what I said. Okay. No, he took up the gun and went up there and go, "Yo, bitch, where's my cereal? Crack.
Where's my Cheerios? Where's my sugar puffs? They're late. Boom.
I wanted less milk." Fuck. And so, but when he's writing, he has these images, and he sees his mom. Okay, and so I bring this scene up because he sees his mom regularly. It's not the house that sees his mom. He sees his mom. There's no entity here. It's just guilt.
Yes.
And so there was a really creepy shot when he's writing his novel, and we see a figure standing on the stairs, and he turns the lights on, and obviously the figure's gone. But it's the spirit of his mother that's embedded in his brain. At the same time as this story is being told, he's writing about a series of books, and these books are involved what they call the Conquistador. And he is traveling through the sands with a young boy, and he has these maps that are embedded in these little bottles of, there's a map in each bottle. And this journey of this fictional story is kind of like our boy Owen Bowman's arc.
Yes,
If
exactly.
that makes any sense.
No. It's basically at the beginning we the viewers see what's happening in the story within his new novel, and it has a very bleak ending where the Conquistador is basically about to shoot the boy in the head like a sacrifice, so that he can find this treasure or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it does certainly hark back to so many Stephen King stories where there is a tormented writer, but here it's sort of elevated even more by the fact that he has shot his mother dead, and he's completely wrecked with guilt. Whenever we first meet him, he's also a complete asshole, totally obnoxious.
All right, so his guilt, he has this little box. All right. And this little box, I thought this box was going to be like second from the Hellraiser thing. Or, I thought it was going to be more relevant.
Yes.
But it's not. The box just holds the ashes of both his parents and a picture of his mother by this big tree. Right there, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, here we go. I turned to fucking Trevor. I'm like, oh, there you go, Trevor. And Trevor's like, yeah.
I had a huge smile on my face. Yeah,
he was all excited. This is about a big fucking tree. And I'm like, I'm leaving. I'm done. But it's not, people. Don't worry about it.
Oh, it is?
We're okay.
The tree is the most important character here.
It's not. Fuck up. Yeah. The goat is the most important bit. Goats and trees. He was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So his name's Ohm. He's going to go back to where that picture was taken because he has a fond memory of his parents' honeymoon, and that's where he's going to bury their ashes. And this place is called the Bilberry Woods Hotel. And he goes there. He puts his mom's ashes very delicately around the tree, and then he whips the fathers at it.
Yep.
But again, that's trouble. You never really deal. He deals with the guilt of shooting his mother, but he never really deals with why his father behaved the way his father behaved.
Yeah.
Because his father was an alcoholic because of what happened, and he blames his son because of what happened. Now, he is the parent. He should take charge and understand it was an accident. But at the end of the day, you do get that forgiveness from the mother, but you never get the father.
Yeah.
I always wondered that.
The father's story isn't really explored. The difficulties with the father, that isn't really explored. It's more focused on, the mother. Because technically, in a way, you could argue that he killed the father as well, albeit the long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not by his hands, but by his actions.
Yes, exactly.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Yep. Not
by his hands, but by his actions. I'm trademarking that.
Right.
I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. I have no idea what the fuck that means. So I looked up some stuff. We're going to go all over the place here, people. So bear with us. In Irish folklore, hares are considered shapeshifters.
Yes.
And that's why there's always a rabbit, I would say a rabbit, but it's always a hare that's in every film he uses. It's maybe because he likes folk horror, but it's also Irish, which he is.
I
think he likes to.
Yeah, to add to that, that hares are generally, not just within Irish folklore, can generally be recognised as witches' familiars. I mean, we even have it in The Witch, the Robert Eggers film.
Or Bugs Bunny.
Certainly a freaky Bugs Bunny here.
Yeah, let me tell you, people, this is not a scary film at all.
I think it is.
It's creepy. It's not. It's creepy. And I'm going to give you, finally, we'll use the word properly, like you use it, atmospheric.
We finally got there. Hundreds of podcasts later, I finally got Kieran to enjoy and admit something that's atmospheric.
No. There's a difference. You people who like this new horror folk stuff always use atmospheric as an excuse that something's brilliant, and it's not atmospheric. This is atmospheric done right. That was my point.
Okay, I would certainly say it's definitely atmospheric and it's very well done. But yes.
Like Nosferatu, everyone thought, "Oh my God, it was terrible." There's no atmosphere in this film. It's draining the atmosphere. It's draining the atmosphere, but it's no.
In your opinion,
there's no It's. I don't think anyone knows what that term. I know you don't know what the term atmospheric means.
I don't. Well,
this movie is
actually.
Atmospheric.
Right. Oh, okay.
Oh my God. You're a very angry person this morning. I'm trying to have a good conversation here.
I'm not. No, you're insulting me left, right, and center. And I'm very calmly defending myself.
I'm very calm
because I'm not a psychotic like someone I know.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
I'm more of a sociopath.
All right. I have a coffee here. Or Ohm. I get it.
Yep.
Ohm, okay. So let's move on here. There's some elements with Ohm that there's signs of hope there for him. That he's a very unlikable character. And I love a good arc. And this guy gets the best arc in the horror film I've seen in a while. But I do like there's little moments where he's letting his true self out, if that makes any sense. Or the boy he wants to be out. The perfect example is the goat. He gets to the hotel for the first time, and we see, I think it's Fergie, who kills the goat, because goats have a tendency to climb on the cars in the parking lot.
They consider them, at the hotel, they consider them basically vermin, like foxes.
Yeah.
Like certain people would shoot foxes or whatever, or because the goats are so much of a pest, they're basically shooting them dead with crossbows.
And we'll get why the goats are attracted to the cars in a second here. But the reason I bring this part up is because Ohm looks at the guy and he goes, "You couldn't have just thrown water at it,
shoot it away." Yeah,
you shoot it, shoot it away. Pretty much saying, it shows that he's a caring individual. Why'd you have to kill that creature?
He's an asshole, but he has a heart deep down.
There's something there.
Yes.
In other words. But when he goes to the woods and he runs into our boy Jerry, the eccentric, he's always high on mushrooms, and he makes the comment because he's going to bury the goat. He finds him he's going to bury the goat for the hotel, and he's talking to him, and he says something about the mushrooms. I like the mushrooms, the whole psychedelic drug.
He says it,
but he says, because the goats eat those mushrooms too, just as nature, they become batshit crazy, and they like the cars because they jump on top of them and they can see the reflection on the car, on the hood, and it makes them fucking trippy.
Yes.
Now this is relevant to this film, but I never caught it.
I think that the mushrooms are very important. In fact, I would even go as far as saying there is a suggestion that there are actually no supernatural elements here, and all of it is through the mushrooms, because the eccentric guy out in the woods, he says something along the lines, I'm paraphrasing here, that all of these supernatural things are out there, but you have to take the mushrooms to experience them and to actually see them. Yes, that is sort of saying that, there is supernatural elements within this film, but I think there is also a suggestion that it could be just a bit of a trip, and a lot of the stuff that the Adam Scott character is seeing and going through is just a manifestation of his guilt and everything, that he's experienced.
Yeah, I don't think that at all.
There is I don't know, but there is a suggestion there.
Yeah, it's because Fiona, the bartender, who he slightly befriends over everybody.
Yes.
and then he kind of has a soft spot for her, and so would I. Yeah.
I am busting to make an innuendo here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you'd have more of a hard spot for her, Kieran. There you go. Boom, boom.
well, wow. Oh, so she tells him though. She warns him, if you ever see a witch, do the circle thing.
Stay away from honeymoon suite.
Yeah, and stay away from the honeymoon suite. The honeymoon suite is locked up. No one can ever use it. Kind of like 1408. Where's 1408? You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's kind of the similarities. And the second half of the film takes place pretty much in the hotel suite. Well, she tells him the story about this hotel suite. There's a witch and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And he says that's complete bullshit, dismisses it. He's cynical about it. He's a non-believer. This is where the term Hokum comes into play. He doesn't believe any of this shit. It's stupid. But once Fiona tells him this story, and he has a really cruel run-in with the bellboy called Albie.
Yeah.
Very sweet character. He's a fan of his. He goes, I'll read your books. I'm a writer too. And he's so dismissive of him and so cruel.
Burns him?
And he burns him. And he makes actually a weird point, because he knows Albie's very shy,
naive,
nervous, naive. And when he burns him, he says, and he goes, ow, why'd you do that? You have to have thicker skin to be in this business, kid.
Yeah.
And so there's some anger there, or maybe even his way of telling him,
it's a tough world out there.
More.
Yeah, it's a tough world out there. Get used to it. So in a way, it's like
it's almost like a learning lesson, but being kind of cruel. Something maybe his father would have done.
Being cruel to be kind, type thing. But there's also the scene where the old boy, who is the actual owner of the hotel, is freaking the kids out with a story about the witch, and he's about to tell them that the witch will cut their dicks off, basically. But then the Adam Scott character, the writer character, says, kids, go back to your parents and stay away from strangers. So that's another sort of window into actually has a heart. He's not a complete bastard.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying with the goat scene. It peppers in there's something there, and his bond with Fiona.
Yes.
And so there's a kindness to him. But even the way he talked to Albie, like you just said, it was, it was cruel, but at the same time he was giving him
harsh lessons in life.
Yeah, giving him and tips if you want to be a writer in this world.
Yes.
But then and then show he commits suicide.
He tries to, yeah.
Yeah, tries to. Tries to commit suicide. He wakes up in the hospital. And he goes back to this place. Keep in mind, guys, the hotel is functional. People stay. There's a big Halloween party. People come and go. Very popular hotel. It's closing for the season. The only room that's haunted is the honeymoon suite. So these never
bounds anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's out of bounds. It's on floor. So the hotel itself is fully functional. So he goes back to the hotel. They're closing up for the season, and he wants to thank Fiona, because Fiona is the one who found his body.
She saved him.
Because she found his tape. He does his recordings. He has ideas for projects and so forth. But he left that at the bar. She was going to, and he wasn't answering, and she was concerned. So they find his body, and then in doing so, saving him. But he goes back to thank her. And she's gone. She's disappeared. Nobody knows what's happened to her. And now this is what he's very good at. First, we have this folklore kind of spooky goat campfire tale that's happening in the first quarter of this film. And then the second part turns into a murder mystery. Kind of like what happened with Oddity, more flipped. It was more murder mystery, then became this. But this is how he seems to work, and I really enjoy that he uses this way of telling stories. But so when he goes back, we find out she's missing. Everyone's looking for her, and he decides, well, he had a soft spot for her. I'm not gonna let this lie. So he goes to so he ends up getting into the honeymoon suite, whatever it is. And there's where we find Fiona's body in the dumbwaiter.
Yep.
And very sad. Very sad. But spoiler alert, guys, she was put there on purpose by the manager, Maul. Maul, who's married, has kids, had an affair with Fiona, and she is pregnant.
It was Mal that
So
killed her.
Maul led her to this place and was killed by the witch.
Yeah. Although
Now,
again,
there's some this is where I'm confused a little bit. And what were you going to add there?
I was going to say there is also a bit of ambiguity there about who killed her, and if the witch is actually real or not, because I was more sort of torn between maybe it was actually just Mal who killed her and dumped her up there, because she wouldn't abort the baby and it was going to get him into a lot of trouble with his family, obviously. So I think there is almost a suggestion there as well that maybe there is no witch and that actually it was just him who killed her. Again, I like ambiguity and I like it,
I
to be
don't
left out
think
to
that
themselves.
I don't like that. This guy tells the story is pretty much complete, and I think there is a witch. Let's wrap it up. Not like the whole thing, man. What I mean is that we don't need to tell you as much.
Yeah.
It's guys, here's what I like about it. We talked about this after the film. It's a smart film, but it's not one of these films that you're going, what the fuck am I watching here? What? It's a layered film, but each layer is pretty much given to you.
Doesn't overdo it.
It's like
Yeah.
it's I don't like using the word dumbed down because it makes it sound like a stupid film, but it is dumbed down, but it's a smart film. And that's what I like about it. When he finds out that Maul is one who killed him, Maul is trying to what I like about the Maul character is that he didn't want to do this. He's got guilt. You can see it. He doesn't want to hurt Ohm, but at the end of the day, Ohm's not going to go, oh, okay, well, we'll see you later, because if Fiona technically saved his life, he's going to redeem her in some way.
Yes.
And so Maul locks him in the room, and he can't get out.
Yeah.
And so he starts having these visions of, the ghosts, the witchy poo, or his mom.
This giant rabbit thing from like a kid's TV program.
Yeah, what a fucking creepy rabbit. That I almost thought that was our boy Skarsgård, who played Pennywise.
Not unlike him, actually, because he does that type of creepery type, well, Pennywise especially, that type of character, who's almost like a kid's entertainer, as this creepy rabbity person character is. But it's obviously, again, all about Ohm's guilt, and it's a manifestation of his guilt as a kid for what he did as a kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so what we find out is the dumbwaiter that he found Fiona in, that's located in the honeymoon suite, goes only down one location, all the way down to the basement in this dwelling, which is where these witches are, a coven of them or something like that. And so what I think has happened, Maul put her in there and sent her down there because there's no way up. If you're sent down by this dumbwaiter, you can't hit a button and go back up. The only way that you can go back up if the button is hit in the honeymoon suite itself.
Yes.
So I think what's happened is she was down there, and I think what happened was she's walking the halls, because you'd walk around. You're not just going to stand there. And she's going to walk around, and she knows there's something down there. And so she stays in the dumbwaiter. So she pretty much just starves and of dehydration as well. So I think that's how she dies. And she keeps these. And the reason we know the whole story of Maul is because she had that little
The
recorder,
dictaphone? Yeah.
the dictaphone that she was going to bring to him before she found his body.
It's dictaphone.
So she had that, and so she recorded what has happened and why she's here and why Maul did this to her, which I liked. But there should have been something there where she's saying, "I'm seeing stuff." Something where.
But that lends to the ambiguity as well.
Yeah, I kind of don't like that.
And that's where I'm coming from.
The whole thing, I don't, because every other character, we know what happened. We know their actions. We know their consequences. With her, we don't, and I don't like that because I would agree with you if you're watching a film that's just like one of your films, that like Lighthouse, which is just batshit crazy, and you just try to figure out what the fuck's going on. This isn't that kind of film.
I know, but I
not
think
giving her that not giving her that journey, kind of, I don't know.
No. And I'll tell you why I like that. It's because a lot of the characters about the hotel and stuff, apart from are the very much the Irish trope, the sort of, the superstitious type, Irish sort of rural types. But actually, Fiona is one of the most rational characters of them all, if not the most. And so it actually makes sense to me that she would be the one who isn't like seeing spooky images and all that sort of thing. She's also not racked with guilt. Yes, arguably maybe because she got pregnant, but she wanted to keep the baby. And, but so in terms of her character, that actually works for me. And also the fact that it also lends to the ambiguity about that there may not be any supernatural elements, and it's all just down to the
supernatural elements. No, I think you're overthinking the mushrooms. I really do.
Possibly.
Because everyone's seeing them. Maul gets killed by the witch.
I personally think there is some sort of supernatural elements going on.
No, there's I believe there's definitely a supernatural element.
Well,
I think the mushrooms
the eccentric guy does say, as I said earlier, that all of this stuff is out there, the supernatural stuff, but if you take the mushrooms, it will open your mind enough to be able to see them. Bear in mind, see, this is another thing as well. Fiona didn't take the mushrooms, so maybe that's why she's not seeing anything as well.
Yeah, but he took the mushrooms, and they spiked. Is when
they spiked
Yeah, but he was in the hospital for days after that.
Yeah, but
so it wouldn't be the mushrooms.
But
you know what I mean? That would have wore it off. He would never. His mind would never have been affected because he was in the hospital.
Stays in your system for a lot longer than most drugs, even though the main effects will wear off. I think LSD.
Yeah, I think now you're
stay
reaching
in your system.
I don't think it's the.
But Fiona doesn't take it. The mushrooms.
I think. Well, she can't because she's pregnant.
Yeah, she doesn't take it anyway though. She's never spiked or anything that we know of.
So, I like the little things in this where he realizes that in order for him to go down to the dwelling to see what's really down there, he needs to have a safety net so he can get back up. So he takes the cuckoo clock thing and he puts on a timer, and so it would hit the elevator, the dumbwaiter button.
Yes.
To come up. It automatically hits it, so the elevator will come up. So he decides to go down and investigate. And this is where he sees some creepy shit. You don't know what's real or not, and you think it's just this manifestation of guilt. This all really is. At the end of the day, I don't. Because at the end, when Maul and him are down there, they're both down there now, and they're fighting. Not fighting, but they're chasing each other or whatever's going on. They're struggling. Ohm puts that circle around him,
protective circle
that Fiona told him to do. So he does this, and he survives. All right, but Maul doesn't. He doesn't get it. In fact, I don't think the protective circle was gonna do anything because you see the witch walk past him as he's crying, and because this is where he's sitting in the circle, and now he's coming of relation to what he did to his mother.
The circle, I think, is more symbolic.
Yeah, I full circle.
Yeah, no, it's symbolic.
And I don't think it does anything. But because you see the witch walk right past and through the circle and kind of kick some of the dirt away. And I think because he came to terms at that moment with what he did to his mother, he understands what he has done. He has forgiven the boy inside himself at that moment. That's why they didn't take him, because he found himself again. And
he found his
with
peace.
Maul, he's a murderer. He's going after this guy. He's going after Ohm. He was fucked. And that's why he doesn't survive. I think they only take the ones.
The guilty?
The guilty. And that's why Fiona was stuck there's nowhere else for her to go. So she was trapped down there. So I'm assuming she just died of dehydration, most likely.
And Fiona is also in a way, dead Fiona is also in a way at this point in a sort of limbo, but yet whenever Ohm sort of releases all of this and his own guilt and stuff, it also puts her at peace because we see her dead body then has the eyes closed.
Yeah, it's my favorite shot of the film. He takes her out of the dumbwaiter before he goes in there, obviously, and he sets her down, and you know how her eyes are wide open. That's the only thing why I think the witch scared her to death, or something happened. Because usually, what's the theory? If you die with your eyes open, you die of shock. You don't see something coming. But if you die peacefully, or something when you see it coming, your eyes close.
Yeah, and she's
That's why I
now at
always
peace
thought.
then when her eyes are closed.
But yeah, so when he goes back up there after fighting Witchy Poo, he sees her, but this time her eyes are closed, giving her, a safe passageway to heaven or wherever she's going.
Yes.
I like the homeless guy a lot. I really did. I thought, I think all the characters besides Maul are pretty decent. Fergie takes Maul. Not Maul, Jerry, because he's got to bring him to the police because he's the one being
He's a suspect
for Fiona's disappearance. But Jerry, he has to save his friend, and he barely knows, but he wants to save him. So he jumps out of this moving car, and he's all cut up. And sadly, Jerry dies.
Yes. He gets shot with a crossbow by Maul.
He gets the crossbow in the face by Maul. That's really sealing his fate with the fucking witch.
Oh, yeah. Maul's the villain here, out and out.
Yeah. And then Fergie comes back to get Jerry, but in doing so, he finds our boy here, Ohm.
And Fergal is almost sort of set up as a villain as well, but he's not really. He just got it wrong. Where it's like what he does with Jerry, taking him into the back of the van. It's basically like a citizen's arrest because he genuinely believes that Jerry is the one who has killed Fiona, because there's also talk that Jerry murdered his wife, but it turned out his wife was very ill and it was like a mercy killing.
During this whole film, we're having these little flashes. We're going back and forth to the conquistador, I can't speak today, and the boy. And so, as I was saying at the beginning of the podcast, the boy and this man are traveling in the desert, so say Sahara, and they're dehydrated, they're thirsty, there's no more water, and he gets to the last bottle because he finds these little treasure maps brings him to these little circles.
Yes.
And these little circles bring him to the next. So he finds the bottle, he takes the other bottle, but the cork's busted in, he can't get it out. So he's got to crack the bottle, but they're in front of sand and there's no rock. So how do you break this? Because back then you probably had those really thick glasses.
Yeah.
And so he can't break it. So we're cut to, he's going to smash the boy in the back of the boy's head with it to break it and kill the boy, but to get the glass open so we can get the final map. And that's where we leave that story. But this film ends with Ohm leaving the place and feeling he's come to peace with himself.
Redemption.
Fiona has come to peace by finding her body and so forth, solving that little mystery. And so we start where we start off in the beginning of the film, this little story, and he's about to break the bottle over this boy's head, and he can't. He gives the bottle to the boy, and he says, "You bash it. I don't care if you see bone, brain, just bash it until this glass breaks."
Yeah, off his own head.
And the boy's about to do it. And the boy throws the bottle away. It's amazing. When you talk about it out loud, it's pretty powerful shit. It's the whole story of the conquistador is Ohm's older self, and the boy is his younger self. And it's how the conquistador, instead of killing him, his younger self, he can't do it anymore because he's come to terms and he's accepted what has happened to his mother, and he forgives his younger self.
And
that's what this is all about.
And it's also, I would add on to that, whenever the boy throws the bottle away, whenever he tells the boy to basically bash him over the head with the bottle, and then the boy doesn't do it, that's also basically saying that he's no longer suicidal either. He no longer wants to die himself.
Oh yeah, I think he's not going to harm either one of them. So that's
Yeah, yeah.
that makes sense.
It's like
Makes sense.
younger self and older self have made peace with each other, and yeah, neither wants the other to die. So yeah, he's not going to commit suicide. He's at peace.
So there you go.
And then there's a nice
There you go.
there's a nice wee part at the end where the bellboy Albie comes back when he's now working for an ice
Yeah, that's
cream
right.
shop, and he eventually sort of softens. He has softened, obviously, and the bellboy asks him, says, "Would you like to read my manuscript?" And he goes, he jokingly says, it's a brilliant line. He goes, "You not think I've been through enough?" But he goes, "But yeah, go bring it in tomorrow, sure, and I'll take a look at it."
Yeah, and it's the first time, I believe, I could be wrong, that he smiles.
Yes, and he's not a bastard anymore as well. Yes.
Now this is this is a solid film. It's not Oddity's still my go-to for him, but this man, I mean, I'm not a big folk horror fan, but if you're gonna do it this way. This guy knows how to make folk horror. It's atmospheric. You got different genres mixed in: horror, suspense, thriller, mystery. He does it so well, and he does it simply, and that's not an insult at all. That is just, he just knows where to put a camera. He knows when to say cut.
Minimal cast.
Minimal cast, which I like. Minimal location. He likes all of his movies are based in one location, and it's just wonderful. Just
His movies, I
storytelling.
would even go as far as saying his movies are almost like stage plays. You know, that sort of one
They
location.
can.
Yeah,
They can play like that. That's why I kind of brought up Death Trap
yeah.
with that stage play that became a movie with Christopher Reeve and Michael Caine.
Yes.
So, yeah, guys.
Very good. Very, very good.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
Yeah, very pleased. So I'm looking forward to his next haunted house story, and he said it's going to be really good. So I'm looking forward to it. And
he's one to watch.
Let's see if he puts
very, very good.
We'll see if he puts a hair on this one.
Yeah. Oh, boom, boom.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. This is a last minute one. We saw it. We're confident we can review it. So that's why we're doing this one today and get it out there for you. Next up, we are doing The Bride and Wuthering Heights. So there you go. And we need to get those out because Boy Wonder over here, Trevor, is going to is it a Comic-Con?
No, it's a new convention based in Belfast here called NormCon. And it's primarily a science fiction and fantasy convention, but there will be some horror stuff there, and there'll be dealers, panels, people doing readings and all sorts. So if you are in the Belfast area, or even Northern Ireland, or even further afield, NormCon this coming weekend, Friday night the 8th of May, and then all day on the Saturday the 9th of May. Check us out. Just type into Google, NormCon Belfast 2026 or whatever, and you'll be very welcome, obviously. Yep, so that's it coming this weekend.
So there you go. Are you going to be selling issues of Phantasmagoria there?
Absolutely. And spin-off books and all sorts, so there'll be a lot happening. Also, oh yeah, it'll all be wrapped up at the end with a horror science fiction themed disco with me as a DJ. So I'll be playing Alice Cooper, the Beastie Boys, all sort of horror science fiction related music, bit of rocky horror.
What do you mean disco?
You're having a disco?
There's a nightclub? You're trying to do a nightclub after?
It's in the convention is in the Hilton Hotel. So there will be a disco in one of the rooms at the very end to wrap up the night at 8:30 at night. And I'm the DJ.
Is there alcohol?
Yeah, there'll be alcohol throughout. It's a hotel. It sells alcohol. There'll be alcohol available throughout the event. Now I'm not encouraging you to weigh in drunk and sort of kick off, and
maybe I will go to this
because trust me, I don't want to also double as a bouncer,
Can you see? Citizen Frame co-host kicks out the host of Citizen Frame.
Yeah, I don't want to end up as part of the news headlines the next day, or you end up as the news headlines. I'm protecting you.
I got to see the disco. I might go just to see the disco.
Well, why don't you should go, and the disco will be a lot.
No, I mean, I just go for the disco.
Yeah, well, you're more than welcome. There will also be like cosplaying groups there, so they will be dressed as characters from various franchises, like Doctor Who, Ghostbusters, and stuff. I'll be playing Ray Parker Jr. and stuff like that.
Jesus.
So yes, it will be a disco with me as DJ, and yeah, rocking your socks on the wheels of steel. Yeah, and see if you do go, you better get up and dance.
I gotta go to this thing now. I
Hey, Alice
have to
Cooper
go to
and
see
stuff.
this.
I'm gonna be going all out.
I just gotta go see this batshit crazy.
It'll be a lot of fun.
But I'm sure it'd be a lot of fun. And
If you want to see
they're probably
Kieran
my peak.
dancing, the host of
I'm not
Citizen
dancing.
Freedom up dancing, doing a bit
I
of
won't be dancing.
1980s break
I ain't
dancing,
dancing.
backflips.
No.
And
First of all, I'm a white guy. We don't know how to dance. And also, if I'm dancing, I'll probably look like I'm having a seizure. I'll look like Crispin Glover in Friday 13th Part 4.
yeah. Or, or George McFly at the dance at the end of Back to the Future.
Yeah, exactly. Either way, Crispin Glover.
Yeah. But yes, all welcome.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Us. Give us a shout at citizenframe_podcast on Instagram. Email us at citizenframe@outlook.com. And of course on Facebook. And thanks for listening. Go see it. It's a good film. Give the money. Give the movie your money. It's worth it. And it's nice to fund independent cinema. So there you go. That's all I've got. We're done. Take care of yourselves. Bye.